See that thing that's covered in fog over there? Of course you don't. It's covered in fog. But that's Ballast Point. That's where sailing ships back in the old days, when they had to take on or drop off ballast, that's where they do it. So, a bunch of ballast stones and rocks over there. Now, Ballast Point has a couple cool things. One, there used to be a lighthouse there. Ballast Point Lighthouse. The only piece that's left over is the part that went around the light, the very top. And you can find that on Congress in Old Town, in front of the Nautical Antiques store. It's fun. So down that way, it's sub base. Not going to try to talk too much about it. Don't mess around on the sub base. Has a bunch of really cool historical markers. That's where Cabrillo, depending if you're Spanish or Portuguese, that's where he landed. There was also a big explosion down off the sub base way back in the day. And those were the first people who were buried in Rosecrans National Cemetery, up in the top of Point Lomo there. Some other ones, I don't remember what they are. Yeah, that's cool. There's another sub-conning tower monument. Now, the good advice that an ex-Navy submariner, told me when I was there with Shay once is if you're walking around and you get in trouble, always say, "I'm just with her." And when we went over by the conning tower, came in very handy because it's right by the nets that keep you away from the subs. And the shore patrol was not very happy with us. So they asked me, and I'm like, "I'm with her." The officer made me do it. I think his was more like that. Also, very warmest water you can swim in the ocean is apparently right off the very end of the sub base. If you're going out towards the tip of Point Loma, he says that's the warmest, best water. Is there anything else here? Oh, down at the end of Ballast Point on the North Island side, Pete Kerr, apparently, with a bunch of the other lifeguards from the Navy base, used to go to the end of it and jump off and swim and all that gibberish. Until one time there was a scientist, and the scientist was just sitting there looking down the water. So they went up to the scientist and they're like, "Hey scientist, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just studying those great white sharks right there." And that was the last time that they jumped off into the water at Ballast Point.